I like it. Let's start with our winners. Case, let's go to you first, man.
Oddly enough, Harper is wearing the hat currently of the team that I think is one of the winners, but my winner of the trade deadline, and that's the Ottawa Senators. They made a couple moves, two of them not as nearly as important as one, but that Jacob Chychrun move was fantastic. I have been under contract that I'm not allowed to talk about Chychrun and trade rumors, but the contract is now broken because he's been traded. It's done. It means I can talk about it. I can celebrate it because, boy, did they ever get him for a lot less than what we thought it was going to be. Like, it was always mentioned that it's going to be either multiple firsts and a blue chip prospect, or a good ready now player, a blue chip prospect and a first. Like, we heard so much, and Arizona's been turning down these guys and turning down these guys because they're not getting enough. And then it comes down to the wire and they trade them for, I think, pennies on the dollar, if you ask me. This is great. And this, we've talked about in the past, is exactly what Ottawa needed. They needed a defenseman, and they needed a top pairing defenseman. They got that in Jacob Chychrun, and it's going to look good having him and Shabbat on this team. They've got depth on defense now in the pipeline. They've got Sanderson, Zub playing now, Bernard Docker, Lassie Thompson. The list goes on. This team is stacked on the back end for years to come. And the other thing I really loved about this trade is it showed the direction. They played their cards. They said, this is what we're doing with this team now. We're going to be good now. We're done with the rebuild. We've got lots of youth on the team, good youth on the team. We've brought in Giroux to be this leader who is playing unbelievable for them. Just it really shows the direction of this team, and they got a really good player in Chychrun. A couple stats for Chychrun, just quickly. Since he entered the league in 2016-2017, he's 13th for D-men in goals per game. Somehow he's only a minus 36 in 376 games for the Arizona Coyotes, playing 21, 22, 23 minutes a night. So that's pretty special in its own right. And then some of the stats they're showing on TSN about him, his 5v5 zone exit carries, he's fourth in the league. Zone entry carries, he's third in the league. Zone possession time, he's 11th. Expected goals off the cycle, he's third. Scoring chances, he's 9th. Shots from the slot, he's second. He is so good at moving the puck, skating with the puck, being that first pass. So this is great for the Senators, and I'm over the moon for that team because I think the fans are ready to see them be good again. By the way, the trade was for a 2023 first, 2024 second, and a 2026 second with conditions on the first two picks there.
Pennies on the dollar is right, Case. Like, we thought Jacob Chychrun was going to go for a king's ransom because he was in rumors for a year and a half. They held on to him, and finally, I don't know if it was the player being upset or Arizona just feeling like this has dragged on too long, we have to do something, and decided to take that lesser return. Or maybe they just didn't have that kind of return out there for the player. I don't know exactly what it was, but they got the deal done finally, and Jacob Chychrun completely overhauls that blue line in Ottawa. So you say they're the winners of the trade deadline. I say they're definitely up there. Like, it's a different looking team with Jacob Chychrun. We've seen that in the few games that he's already played for them. And now all of a sudden, you know, Pierre Dorion made the promise to Claude Giroux that he was going to compete and get some extra pieces so that they can be a good team going forward. And now all of a sudden, they're looking like it. They're right back in the playoff race. And I think in their last 10 games, they're one of the hottest teams in the league. I think the Bruins might be the only hotter team right now. And
exactly tied with the Bruins. And so, like, all the stats, I saw a snapshot of it, or a shot of it yesterday, yeah. I think, and they're the exact same. And it was like, here's a list of stats. They're the exact same. One's Boston, one's Ottawa. It's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go. They're playing at such a clip right now where, they're trying to squeeze into that final playoff spot. And like we talked about before we started recording today, the East is completely wide open for those last two spots. There's about 6 or 7 teams competing right now for those two spots. So, Case, I agree with you. Loved that move in particular for the Sens. And I think they're definitely one of the winners of the deadline. What do you think, Art?
Well, obviously, I agree. I love this pick, and while I don't think it's as bad of a return for Arizona, or could be as bad of a return as a lot of people out there think, I think it all kind of depends where that first-round pick lands in the draft this year for the Ottawa Senators and for the Coyotes. The Phoenix or Arizona could end up getting a really high-end player with that pick, and it could end up being a little bit better. But obviously, we're not talking about the Coyotes. We're talking about the Senators who made this deal. Pierre Dorion was actually at the Brockville Memorial Center on Friday night watching his son Antoine play for the Hawkesbury Hawks. So, I'm doing play-by-play, and I look to my right, and right down at the other end of the rink is Pierre Dorion right there, just a few days after making this deal. So really exciting for the Ottawa Senators. What a shot in the arm at a perfect time. The team has won 5 of their last 6. The streak obviously ended last night with kind of a stinker against the Chicago Blackhawks, but up to that point they've been red hot. You can tell that this means the world to Jacob Chychrun. He's got local connections, obviously, his grandfather and his sister being in Ottawa. He's so happy to be there. He looks great. He's in such great shape. He plays that heavy game. He's got a bomb of a shot. He scored a great goal for his first as a Senator on Saturday night in the win over the Blue Jackets. Before that, played a great road game in a big win for them over the New York Rangers. And got to give a lot of credit to Pierre Dorion for pulling off this move. Not only by getting the player and pulling it off, but a good general manager, I think, listens to his players, and he obviously listened to guys like Derek Brassard and Claude Giroux, who went to him and were like, we would like some help. We're in a good spot here. We're back in the race. Let's get a guy who can really change the mix here, and no better guy to do that than Jacob Chychrun, and really serve a huge need for them, which is a top 4 defenseman. So I love it all the way through for the Ottawa Senators and for Jacob Chychrun. Really happy for him, especially that this saga is now all over.
Yeah, and I expect this to be such a weight off his mind that he's only going to get better in the next coming months. So I'm really hopeful that they can make a push and be a playoff team, one of those wild card spots, preferably over the New York Islanders. It would be great to see Ottawa in there again, and he's the guy to help them do it. Like I said, they needed a top pairing defenseman bad, and now they have it. And between him and Shabbat, that's so many minutes. Like, what is that, 48 minutes a night from those two guys?
Yeah, exactly. And, it takes some of the load off of Shabbat, which is really needed because we know how much he's been asked to do there over the last several years. And you've got Zub, and Jake Sanderson is going to be a star for them back there as well. So I just love it. And also a really great part of this, 2 more years at $4.6 million for Jacob Chychrun. That is huge for the kind of player that he is.
Think about dumping Zaitsev, his cap, and then bringing back Chychrun for like the same amount. It's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.